Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Today I'm going to be making the back pocket for my Tim Holtz Junk Journal. I will link all the other videos if you want to watch those, but you don't need to make a Tim Holtz journal to make this pocket. You can put this pocket in any journal that you're making. You could even use it as a card front. Use it anywhere, on a journal page, whatever tickles your fancy. But today I've put it in the back of my Tim Holtz journal. I did ask my subscribers what they would like to see for the inside covers, and we did the policy envelope on the front inside cover, and I've gone for the one large acetate pocket, which a few people mentioned. A lot of people asked for a back cover with lots of pockets, but this journal has got a little bit chunky, so I didn't want to go adding lots of pockets to the inside of the back cover. I've still got a few ephemera pieces to put in that yet. I will link all the other videos if you're interested. Right, so what we're going to need for this, you're just going to need some card that will fit on the back pocket of your journal. I'm going to show you how to make it and adapt the size to whatever project you're putting it in, so you don't have to do it exactly the same size as mine. I will give you these measurements when we come to make it. So I think that's the whys and wherefores covered. So let's crack on. And I'm back. So I've done the boring part of cutting these two bits of card to the size I need for my journal, and I'll tell you how I decided. Right, my journal measures 9 inches high by 6.5 inches wide. So that's my backing piece, and I've just made it 3/4 of an inch shorter and narrower. Yeah, if you don't want to see as much of your journal around the edge, make it say 1/2 inch, but I've gone for 1/4 because I've got a lot showing on the front around my pocket, and I want to see that lovely stamping that I did. Right then, so that's 8.25 by 5 3/4 my piece. Now for the pocket, I've cut a bit that is 5.25 by 6 3/4. Yeah, this piece happened to just be the right width, or was it the right height? I can't remember. So then I just altered it. So what is that? Is that, oh, it happens to be 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch less. Yeah, so the pocket is 1/2 inch less wide, and I just cut it to where I could see that standard typewriter bit at the top. I thought that would look good. So it's up to you if you want a smaller pocket, if you want to do 2 separate pockets. That will depend on your project. The sizes you cut your paper to will depend on your journal size if you want it to fill the full pocket. But this would also be a good size to fit on a journal page. It would fit quite nice, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to put the journal to one side while we work on the actual pocket. So I've cut that and inked it to save a bit of time. Now this, I'm going to have to cut the aperture, aren't I? So there's a few ways you can do that. If you've got happen to have a die the right size, do it with a die. It doesn't have to be even all the way around. You could cut any size aperture and back it with acetate that you want. I just want mine to be, in fact I'll show you, like that. I made that myself. It's like the new Tim Holtz ones you get into. I don't know what they're called. I've got some and I don't know what they're called. Yeah, it's just a rectangle of card with sewing round. I'm not going to sew my pocket today though. You might not have a sewing machine. You might want to know what it looks like without sewing. So, easiest way, if you've got a die, use it. If you don't have a die and you don't also have this, let me show you this little paper trimmer. I'm going to use this paper trimmer and show you how to make an aperture with it, because I know a few of you have mentioned you've got them, and one person in particular did email me and ask me if I could show them how to make, cut a rectangle out of a piece of card using this. It is quite easy. Again, it could be a grandma sucking eggs lesson to a lot of you. Right, so I've got to decide on the size of my aperture. Now I'm going to be very easy. I'm going to grab this ruler, and what I'm going to do is, which side shall I use? Oh, it's unfortunate that that's really dark when I want this to be. I'll get my rubber out after and rub it out. So do this on back if you can see. If you're not needing it to show up on a camera, do this on back. Now I want my aperture even all the way around, so I'm going to do it with my ruler, which happens to be an inch. Yeah, so mine's going to be an inch. So I'm going to go around my piece of card and draw a line at an inch all the way around. This will also work for if you're doing it with a pencil. Sorry, a pencil. If you're going to cut it out with a ruler and a craft knife. That's that. One more. I'm still not sure you can even see it on here. I've chosen such a dark, grungy paper, haven't I? But I wanted dark and grungy. That's my prerogative. So, yeah. So, we've just drawn a line 1 inch in all the way around. So, I'm going to use this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in my paper trimmer. I'm going to line that line up with the cutting line in my trimmer. Then, I'm going to line this up. I'm just going to have to turn it slightly so I can see, because I can't get my head over. Put my head over, you can't see. Then I'm going to line that up with that line. If that blade is a little point, so it will go in just exactly where I want, then I'm going to cut up to this next line. Yeah. If you're not sure about going it exact, you can go a little bit short and then just snip your corners with scissors. So then I'm going to line this line up. So if you've got one of these and you know how to do it, all well and good. If you're considering what kind of paper trimmer to buy and you're thinking about one of these, it's a good option for card makers. I use this a lot when I was making cards, to make apertures in cards, because they were very expensive to buy ready-made. Now, I've not quite gone to the very end there, so I'll just come in and snip and snip. There you go. And then I've got my perfect little corner. So you just go all the way around and do all 4 sides. Obviously, the smaller the aperture you're making, the fiddlier this can get. There we go. And it's a junk journal. You don't have to be perfect, do you? So if it's not perfect, don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. When you've used it for a while, you can feel when it gets to that cut. So that's all 4 sides. I just need to snip that one a smidgen more. And there you go. I've got my aperture. And this way, that is usable. I could not go in with scissors and cut that out perfect. I just couldn't. I don't have it in me. Now, because I had to do it on this side, I'll just rub my pencil marks out. Now, if you want to go in and sew this, like I did with that frame, you can do it now or after your acetate's in. That's going to depend on your sewing machine and what it likes and doesn't like to do. It can be a little bit slippy slidey sewing acetate, so yeah, this may be the time to do it if you're going to do some sewing. Right, I've got little rubber bits all over now. These are going to get stuck to my acetate, I just know it. It's going to be covered in bits. We're going to have a pocket full of little bits of rubber. Right, so that's that. Now I'm just going to go in now and ink the inside of this before I do else. This is the kind of thing I normally forget when I'm doing acetate pockets. But I've remembered today. I can hear a buzz. That better be outside window. I don't want no more wasps in here. We've had quite a few in the house. I'm a bit worried. By quite a few, I mean we've had 4. It's not a nest full or anything. Well, how we're going through front back is anyone's guess. I think I'm just trying to make my life difficult. That'll do me. So that's, I see me cut. They're not perfect, but they're as good as they need to be. Right, I'm going to grab my acetate now. I'm using slightly different today because this is a huge pocket and it's going in back of a journal. I've got some that's a bit thicker. Now, I could not tell you what this is in microns or in the measurements using US. If you listen to it, it's about the thickness you get in plastic packaging. You know, when you buy your... I'll tell you what it is actually. It's a little bit thinner than what the Tim Holtz stamps come on. But yeah, it's like the plastic packaging thickness. It says 250 GSM. Normally I use 110 micron one, but I wanted something a bit more substantial. Right, I'm just now going to, I want it about that. That looks just over a quarter of an inch. I want it just over a quarter of an inch smaller than my aperture. That's because when I glue it down, I want the glue from the actual card on the card to stick to card. That's about there. So I'm going to come in and cut it, and I'll tell you how big it was. I suppose if you wanted to get your maths set on, you could find your post-it note and say that if your pocket's 5 1/4 by 6 3/4, you would cut it to 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. This may be that big, it may not. I can't see my marks now. Was it gone? Was my mark? I see it. I see you. Tell you what, put it to the bottom of your trimmer where you haven't got a big shadow casting on it, then you'll see it even better, won't you? Yes, Mum. Oh, and it happens to be 4 1/2. I don't know what that's all about. That can't have been marked, can it? Yeah, it is. It's way more than a quarter of an inch. I'll tell you its size in a minute. Whee. It's going to need dust in this because I've spat on it. I've put it in rubber bits. Of course, we're making it 4 1/2 by 6. It ended up being 4 1/2 by 6. Yeah, I've made it 3/4 of an inch smaller than the piece of card. Right. Now, remember to glue it to that side, woman. Yeah. Now, I'm going to grab my art glitter glue for this. And I'm just going to go all the way around edge with tiny dots. If I put a long line, I do tend to find it all goes a bit wrong. Oh, that's a bit of rubber. Get off. Because it can squidge out. I don't mind if it squidges out to the bit you don't see on the back, but I don't want it to squidge out within that window. Because it'll just look a bit untidy, won't it? Now I'm going to... I always make a mess when I try picking this up. So also... I'm gonna guess that looks about good. That looks about good. And I'm just gonna drop it on. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, it's a bit wonky, but hey ho. No one's gonna be looking at back, so we're gonna glue it down to our project. There we go. If you can pick acetate up with glue on without dropping it, pick it up and put it on. I can't, so do it like this. It's also easy if you put your head directly above as well. Right, so that's my acetate. Now, if you want to put a notch in the top, do it now. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, let's have a look what that's going to look like on our journal. I don't think I had any glue squidging, no. So that's my backing piece. That's my pocket. I like it. It's going to look cool. I don't know why I said that. Kids will go mad if they hear I've said cool. They're like, Mother, we don't say that anymore. We haven't said that since before I was born. Okay, that's it. Now, I want to also fasten this with, I want some eyelets. I just like the look of it. So I'm going to put one up there. One up there. Eyelets are going to make the pocket a smidgen smaller, so I want them right in the corner. One up there. One down here. And then I want a little row of eyelets here. Now what I don't know is if my, yeah, it should reach. I don't know if my Cropadile is going to reach to do this. Oh, it will. I won't have to get that big chompy one out. Yeah, it'll reach. I'm fine. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this pocket down first. Then I'm going to mark where my eyelets want to go. And then I'm going to glue this whole backing piece to the inside of my journal, and we'll decorate this up a little bit. Because it is nice, but it's looking a bit plain, isn't it? Right, get your art glitter glue, woman. And I'm just going to go round 3 sides. Whee. I didn't get much on there, but we are going to fasten it down with eyelets as well. To be honest, even the angry baboons are not going to get this pocket off, I don't think. Ooh. Is it looking straight? Is it looking straight? That looks about straight. I've got my standard typewriter bit showing. That's wonky as wonky can be. That's about straight, isn't it? That's all we're looking for, about straight. That's much higher up than it is there. There's something wonky about one of these bits of paper. And considering they both came new out of a backdrops packet, I really don't know how or why. Is my trimmer wonky? Is Tim wonky? I don't know. Are you wonky, Tim? That's that. So, I'm going to come in and punch an eyelet. I'm going to, yeah, just guesstimate it. Oh, yeah, it's going to fit. So I'm going to move my guide. That looks about right. That looks good. And that will then be about right. Yeah. So I'm going to keep that depth gauge set to where it is. And I'm going to, actually, I think it needs to be a bit. I'll do these side ones first. That's an idea. Yeah. Might not have been a good idea, but I want these all to be in a straight line. I think I got more here than there. So these eyelets would have been far too close to the bottom. Right, I'm going to punch one. That's about the same as that. Down a bit more. Yeah. I'm going to punch one, guesstimate where the middle is. Oh, that hit me on the head. Then I'm going to do one halfway between those 2 holes. Then I'm just going to check the height of this hole is okay by punching it again. Yeah, that's fine. It's an odd shaped hole now, but it works. I hope you followed that. I just like the look of these eyelets, and I'm using my brass ones. I did get a new pack off Amazon. If you're in UK, I'll link them. If you're wondering why I don't often always link things in US, is I only link things that I have used, that I have personally used or had sent from the USA. Or sometimes I will trust my USA friends. If they use something regular and say it's good, I will link it on my Amazon storefront. Otherwise, I'm not linking it. So there you are. Woo. Right. Oh, I do like this look. I thought I can't do just a boring acetate pocket. I need to do something a little bit different about it. I don't know if I've got enough eyelets out. If I've got exact right amount of eyelets out, I'll be stunned because I just grabbed a handful. No, I've got more out than... yeah, I got more out than I'm using. That would have been like, yeah, wow. The woman's a genius. No, the woman isn't. Whee. And one more. Yeah, so I think I've got 2 more out than I needed. I hope light's not blinding you every time I do this. Flicking this acetate and that's it. That's my pocket. Oh, I really like that. I don't want to go up where... I don't need to go up. I could put another one in. Yeah, I'm going to put another one in there. I've got to get right depth again on this eyelet and get the right size eyelet. This might go all wrong if I don't get right depth. Does it look a bit rubbish? That's got to be it. And I'm going to put it level with that. Because chances of me, well, actually, eyelet packet is right next to me. I'm going to set chances of me putting them away and not just leaving them on the desk to end up standing on them at a later time as slim. But I could have put them away, but I've used them now, haven't I? Oh, I like that with 2. Yeah. We like. So that's the pocket. All we have to do now is attach it to the journal. I'm happy with that. Attach it to the journal and just decorate it up a little bit. So it's going to take me a while to glue this with my little glue bottle, isn't it? Oh, yeah, now you can do it, woman. Now I'm going to go for art glitter because the reason I won't put an ordinary PVA all over this is I don't want it wrinkling. Now I'm confident the middle won't wrinkle, but I think I need to still go for art glitter out edges. I'm not turning this into a pocket. I'm just gluing it all the way down because it's also gonna provide a bit more stability for my journal cover. That's it. It's coming out much better now. Don't know if that were an air bubble or what that was sticking. Wow, you were a bit fast there, woman, weren't you? Calm down a little bit. Calm down. Now, for the rest of it, I'm just going to grab some of my generic tacky glue. Right. This is what I'm using at the minute. I just got it because it was cheap. I've even cut end off. Craftelia. No, I haven't cut end off. Let's see. Whee! I normally use a brand called Anita's in the UK, but I don't know where I've put it. I've probably had some kind of tidying little jaunt and put it somewhere. Smells just like Anita's tacky glue. Yeah, I got it off Amazon. I'll show you the reason I got it. It came with that, a stand. So I can now put it in there and I'm not going to have to shake it down. Because ordinary tacky glue can be a little bit thick and a little bit gloopy. So I'm just going to spread that out as well. I hope the me art glitter's still wet because I've been talking like 3 days, haven't I? Right. That's the bottom. That's the top. So I'm just going to stand up to do this. You won't see me head. That top corner is the corner I'm wanting to line up. Something I was told years ago, and I still do it now, and it's, oh, don't get glue on your acetate. If it's not going to line up on all 4 corners, do that one and then these two, because the bottom left is the one that you look at last. I don't honestly know if that's true, but I still do it. Right. Just going to put my hand inside. Oh, there's something in the pocket. That's why that weren't going very flat. Oh, right. So, there we go. Now I'm just going to leave that to dry for 5 minutes or so before I come sticking some labels on. To you, I'll be straight back. 2 ticks. And I'm back. So that's had about 5 minutes to dry. I'll just show you what this is that I had in back pocket. When people ask me what do you do with all your ephemera, well, I then stick it in journals. I'm a bit back to front. Mind you, I'm not back to front. I know other people do it. I tend to make the ephemera first these days, and then I find the whole journal a lot less overwhelming when I'm busier. Yeah, so I'll make the ephemera. You do tend to, when you've found your style, you will tend to find all your ephemera will fit. I have a couple of 3 styles, so I then just store my ephemera. In fact, I've got a box here that's ready to decorate the whole of the journal with. And this is all ephemera that I know will fit lovely in this journal. Yeah, that is going to be my next and final video with these Tim Holtz journals. Yeah, what do you do with all your ephemera? Yeah, right. So that's going to go in that back pocket, or maybe it is. I might change my mind, but type final bit comes along. Now I've gone through all these journal cards. I've made a video where I made these, and I'm going to pop one in there. I like these. They're not actually Tim Holtz, but I think they just fit in with his style, don't they? So let's try one out. There is beauty and simplicity. I think any of them would look good, wouldn't they? Now, when I made these as journal cards, I didn't put tabs on. In fact, you know what? I decided to use that one, but I think I've changed my mind and I want to use that one. I like There Is Beauty in Simplicity quote. They are the Tim Holtz, yeah, small talk words. Right, so I got these out. These are just some pre-cut tabs that I've got, because I know I need something on top of this journal card so it don't get lost in my pocket. So that's too plain. Oh, that is Tim Holtz, but it's too small. That's not Tim Holtz paper, but I think I could like it. I just cut a load out of my scraps. Could have a bit of pink on it. I don't know. I don't like that one. There's going to be like 50 tabs in here. I'm not going to like any of them, am I? What's my watch saying? It's, yeah. I got one of these tracker watches. I know I'm a bit late at game. I like that one, actually. I'm going to grunge that up, and I like that. Yeah. It's going to be that one. It keeps telling me to get up and walk round, and I keep doing it. I keep going up and down stairs and along landing and whatever, but I'm busy. It needs to learn that at the moment I'm busy doing a video. Right, find your inker, woman. Could be anywhere on this desk. Yeah, I just want to grunge this up, and I'll perhaps stick a little label or something on it. Yeah, in general, it's just far too light. So I'm inking the whole thing around the edges. I will then fold it in half and ink along the crease. This is a die set that makes these. It's not the original whale tail punch. No one's got enough money for one of them, have they? They go for silly money now. If you're lucky enough to have bought one when they were out, good on you. I didn't mean that sarcastically, but it came out sarcastically, didn't it? Right. Yeah. I'm going to glue that on there. Do you know what? I want to put an eyelet in it. I'll do that after I've glued it. A lot of eyelets in this journal. I quite like it. Oh, I should have said, you know what I've done here with the eyelets? Like I did with the one for the inside pocket. If you don't have eyelets and a punching tool, use brads. You can pop those through with your fingers. I use brads on the envelope. If this is the first time watching and you don't know what a brad is, that's a brad. They have the little pointy legs on that you open up. Yeah. Right, pop that on. Yeah, that looks good. Get it straight, missus, get it straight. Yeah, and I want an eyelet in it because I do. I might dangle some off it, I might not. Oh, we're going to have to go back in the box now. I think I'll put a different colour eyelet on this time. Yeah, I'm going to put like a gunmetal colour. Or is it just, it's just an antique silver colour actually. Because I'm not a fan of having everything match anymore, strangely enough. I used to be exactly opposite. Right, so that is now going to pop in there. Oh, I love it. So we're not putting a label on that now because we've got that in. That just comes out beautiful. It's as though that were made for that pocket, isn't it? But it wasn't. That's just how things go. I do want to put some kind of label or something on here though, because otherwise I think it might be a bit plain. Let me grab some. I could grab Tim Holtz Ephemera, but I know I've got to hand some Tracie Fox Ephemera. Love junk journals. I'll link which set it were. I have been saying it were a latest set, but she's done a few more sets since then, I think. Yeah, I think I like that there. Sort of opposite to that one. And then I think I just want a tall one down here. And then I'll be... In fact, do you know what? I don't know if I do. I think I just want that one. I think that's all it needs. There is beauty in simplicity. Yeah. Practice what you preach, woman. Practice what you preach. I think that is a little bit of a light colour. So I'm just gently going over with some dirty ink. It's walnut stain, not dirty. Can you imagine that being named for an ink? No, don't even. I've got Tim Holtz in my head now saying, well, this is my new range of ink. It's called Dirty. Yeah. Or in the UK, we're going to rebrand it as Mucky. Because we say Mucky. Right, yeah, I just want that there. That's all I want. Beauty and simplicity. Right, we're done. Don't gild the lily, woman. Don't gild the lily. 5p for your glue later. So that's that. Bring your... I've just dropped some on the floor. Bring your signature back in. So when I have sewn it in, this is what we'll see. When we get to the back of the journal, I think that looks really good. That's probably going to need something on it. But I really like that pocket with eyelets on. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. That ended up being much longer than it was supposed to be because I've gone on a waffle fest, haven't I? But yeah, you can do it. It does not have to be that exact same size. If you do want it the same size, these are the measurements. You can take a screenshot. Yeah, have you had enough time? Of course you have. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.